Empowering my kids to be in control of their sexual health and to know how to take care of their body and access healthcare is an important part of my job as a mom and as a sex ed teacher. One of the most politicized medical procedures is elective abortion, but it is a medical procedure, and it can be an option for a variety of reasons in order to take care of an individual's health. And this is what compelled me to make this video, and why I believe that parents can have talks with their child throughout childhood that introduce the concept that 1, not all pregnancies are healthy, and 2, not all people want to become parents. I'm Kathleen, and I make YouTube videos for parents on how to talk about sex and answer sex questions that their child may have. This is a sensitive topic. For many adults, discussing spontaneous abortion, miscarriage, or pregnancy loss, even with just other adults, can be hard and emotional, let alone trying to explain this to a young child. But just because something is difficult or uncomfortable doesn't mean that it has to be avoided. Regularly, I've been noticing friends and family members who don't announce their pregnancies until after they've completed the first trimester or the first 12 weeks of gestation. And more often than not, the reason for this delay is because they are concerned that they may experience a pregnancy loss during that time. And actually, it is quite common. Available statistics show that about 1 in 5 pregnancies end in miscarriage. Side note here, miscarriage and spontaneous abortion do in fact mean the same thing. Doctors tend to use the term spontaneous abortion, whereas their patients tended to prefer the term miscarriage because the term abortion can be heavily charged, and it invokes judgments and stigma due to an individual's moral and personal beliefs. I mention this because medical professionals have begun to change their terminology when discussing spontaneous abortion with their patients, because the term abortion has associated moral judgments with it. There's been a shift to have more patient-centered care, and using the patient's terminology is a start. And even now, the term pregnancy loss is a newer term that some patients prefer. So the point here is that spontaneous abortion, miscarriage, and pregnancy loss, no matter what you call it, is common and can be very difficult for adults to talk about, even with other adults. I acknowledge that. And at the same time, I propose that introducing this concept that not all pregnancies are healthy with our young kids can help in changing this stigma and may help our kids to understand this oftentimes very sensitive and difficult topic. I talk with my primary age kids a lot about where babies come from and how a baby is made because it's a very interesting topic to young kids. And I use a variety of age-appropriate books to help explain this concept. I've noticed that these books do not show complications during pregnancy. Regularly, the books show drawings of a fertilized egg and then the size of the fetus at varying stages of gestation leading to a full-term pregnancy. And then you turn to the next page and it begins to talk about delivery. Now, I've begun to introduce this concept that not all pregnancies are healthy to my 6-year-old when we're reading these books together. And I acknowledge that this can be difficult and it can feel awkward. But parents, I assure you that all sexual health topics can be discussed in a medically accurate and age-appropriate way, including this. Here's how I introduced this concept to my primary age child. While we were looking through an age-appropriate book together that showed the development of a fetus, I explained that this was the development of a healthy fetus. It was growing and developing in a healthy way, and there were no concerns about its growth from the doctors. However, sometimes there can be complications or health issues for the person carrying the pregnancy or for the fetus itself. Not all pregnancies are healthy. Sometimes the development of the fetus has some severe health issues and the body stops the pregnancy, meaning that the fetus does not continue to grow and dies. Or the person carrying the pregnancy cannot continue to do so due to their own health or personal issues, and therefore talks with the doctor about their options to not become a parent. My daughter's response to me was, "Why? Why does it just die?" Here I offered reassurance that nobody has done anything wrong. It's that sometimes the sperm and the egg that come together aren't able to complete the process. It's just like some seeds that, when planted, don't always grow as intended or don't grow at all. As you can see here in the primary age, I'm not introducing the term abortion, but I am laying a foundation that not all pregnancies are healthy. And so then I'll be able to expand on that concept in the intermediate age. So you've had a talk with your primary age child and you've discussed that not all pregnancies are healthy. Now, in the next stage of this conversation, you'll be discussing that not all people want to become parents. During the intermediate age, you'll be defining abortion and explaining the difference between elective and spontaneous abortion, as well as providing information on the options that are available to a person when they find out that they are pregnant. Just a reminder, you're going to be explaining the medically accurate information in an age-appropriate way first, and then afterwards you can provide and explain your family values about it. You can say something to the effect of, not all people want to become parents. So if a person finds out that they are pregnant, they usually have 3 options made available to them. First, carry the pregnancy to term and become a parent. Second, carry the pregnancy to term and place the baby for adoption. Or third, terminate the pregnancy by having a medical procedure. Side note here. Now, of course, depending on your family values, religion, or culture, you may not feel or believe that there are 3 options. Or depending on where you live, you may not be able to legally access all 3 options. But I would still encourage you to present all 3 options to your child, because they will still most likely hear about it at some point, whether they read an article or a book or hear something in the news about it. By presenting all 3 options, you are being honest with your child and providing the medically accurate and factual information. You can then ask your child if they understand all 3 options, like, do you understand what it means to become a parent? Or do you understand what it means to place a baby for adoption? Or do you understand what it means to terminate a pregnancy? And if they say they do not understand what terminating a pregnancy means, you can explain. Terminating a pregnancy through having a medical procedure means that the person is ending the pregnancy so that they are no longer pregnant. It is called an elective abortion. It means that the person has spoken with a healthcare provider or doctor and is choosing to end the pregnancy. There are a variety of reasons why a person may choose to have an elective abortion, and they may choose to discuss those reasons with their doctor. And although the reasons are varied, legal elective abortions are safe medical procedures when performed by a trained medical professional. Actually, we've talked about something similar to this before. Remember when we talked about pregnancy and the development of the fetus and how not all pregnancies are healthy? Do you know what it's called when the body naturally ends the pregnancy and the fetus dies? You may hear it being called a few different things, maybe spontaneous abortion or miscarriage or pregnancy loss. All 3 terms mean the same thing, that the pregnancy ended due to the body's own decision to stop the development and growth of the fetus, usually due to medical or health reasons. Now, at this point in the conversation, you can provide a discussion about the range of beliefs around elective abortion, as well as provide your own family values. You can say something to the effect of, there are a variety of beliefs around elective abortion. Some people believe that it is a private and personal health matter that should be made available to all people and discussed solely between the pregnant person and their doctor, while others believe that there is no valid reason for a person to obtain an elective abortion. In our family, we believe blah, 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 because blah, blah, blah. Now, of course, there are a lot of laws that dictate the legality around abortion, and we'll be talking about that in the middle and high school age. If you have a child in the middle and high school age group and you want to have a conversation about this with them, that's great. But if you haven't had any conversations up until this point in the primary or intermediate age years, you're going to want to backtrack a little bit and make sure that your child knows that there are 3 options that are usually made available to a person when they find out they are pregnant. You're going to want to explain the difference between a spontaneous abortion, aka miscarriage or pregnancy loss, and an elective abortion, reminding them that not all pregnancies are healthy, and therefore the option to terminate is usually made available to people, but it may not be available to some due to their own personal beliefs or due to the law. Here you can explain that the majority of countries have made laws around elective abortion, and that the majority of these laws are designed to restrict access to this medical procedure. And then you can share the law where you're from or where you currently live with your child. And of course, you're going to want to share the range of beliefs that people have around elective abortion, saying that some people believe that it's a personal and private health matter and that the procedure should be made available to all and discussed solely between the pregnant person and their doctor, And other people believe that there is no valid reason for a person to have an elective abortion. And in our family, we believe blah, 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 because of blah, blah, blah. And by the high school age, you're gonna want to clearly explain that abortion is not contraception, that contraception prevents a pregnancy from occurring, whereas abortion terminates a pregnancy that has already occurred. And this can be a gateway into a discussion about contraceptive methods or how to use a condom correctly. And if you want to have that conversation, I got a video on that for you. Parents, at each stage of childhood, as you discuss this topic, there's going to be the opportunity for you to include your family's values about abortion. If you've already established your values and beliefs, then you can just go ahead and insert that into the conversation after you've explained the medically accurate information first. But if you aren't sure what your family values are, I would encourage you to answer the following questions, and that may help you to be able to articulate your family values to your child. Do you believe that physical, mental, emotional, and sexual health are important to take care of? Do you want to be able to access, or do you want your child to be able to access all healthcare options for any medical condition that may arise? Would you say that everybody is ready, financially, emotionally, physically, spiritually, to become a parent once they go through puberty? Would you say that rape, sexual assault, and sexual abuse occur and can have lifelong impacts on a person's health? What does your culture say about abortion? What does your religion say about abortion? If you were faced with an unhealthy pregnancy, or if you were faced with an unhealthy pregnancy that you contributed to, which of the three options would you lean towards and why? Take some time, gather your thoughts around these questions. And if you're co-parenting, I would encourage you to both answer these questions separately and then share your answers together. And then be prepared to explain your family values around abortion to your child. I hope that this video helps you in navigating a topic that tends to be one of the most controversial health procedures. I firmly believe that all sexual health topics can be discussed in a medically accurate and age-appropriate way. And once you've done that, it is important as parents to add in your family values. I'm Kathleen, and I'll be back next week with another video.